Last week in the Krispy Kreme National Series, we went roller coaster racing for the second and final time on the season. And what a race and what a finish it was. A side-by-side battle between Aaron Abel and Gavin Paley. And Gavin Paley was able to get his first win on the channel, barely over one of the most consistent drivers on the channel of Aaron Abel. Here today is race number 20 on the season, halfway through the Season 3 chase. And we are at one of the most chaotic short tracks on the channel. It is race 20 on the season, the Toyota Owners 250 at Richmond Raceway. What's up everyone, it's your boy Answer Racing 97, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome back to Richmond Raceway. And it's been over a year, almost a year and a half, since we've been here. Last time in Season 5 of the JBL Cup Series. Last year is very early on in the schedule, but this year is in the chase for both series, and the rains are in full effect. So this time, don't really know what to expect here for these drivers, but what we do know is that we have a very tight championship battle here in the Krispy Kreme National Series, and we only have 5 races to go, 4 after today here in Season 3. I'm Matthew Shepard, the owner of Alpha Prime Racing, and welcome to Richmond Raceway.
Welcome. Good to be back in the booth. And oh boy, if you thought the chase-ins were close, look again. 1 point gap leaving Watkins Glen. Caleb Rose and Logan Williams, 2 of the most dominant drivers of this season, combining for 26 top 10s. And both starting inside the top 10, although on the outside lane. And looking further back, Nick Lopez and Avery Alford not starting too great. And Chris Jericho's in 3rd, so who knows what the stands will look like after 63 laps.
Absolutely, the point stands are, like I said, very tight, only 1 point between Rose and Williams. However, they do both start on the outside, and Jericho starts 3rd, and that could make it where if things get wild, we could see multiple drivers still with a chance at this championship. Only 4 races to go, but it's kind of like a wild card like Watkins Glen last week. We saw a lot of non-chase drivers get the win and beat F1 all day. We got only 4 chase drivers starting F1 here today. The rest of them inside of the top 10 are non-chase drivers. So how do you think that's going to play out, and do you think we might see another non-chase driver get the win?
Well, considering who we have starting up front, Juan Garcia's up here, and in fact, all 4 GM Motorsports cars are inside the top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys finished well. Aaron Abel, I believe, back there in 11th as well, could be a dark horse late in the running. Who knows? All depends on if we have cautions or not, and if we stay caution-free.
Absolutely, and if we get a caution-free race, we will have pit stops around lap 40, could be a little bit sooner, a little bit later, and we gotta watch out for that backstretch with the merge point. That could have a caution there, but here is the point standings with just 5 races to go. Caleb Rose is the new point leader, but not by much, only 1 point over Logan Williams in 2nd. Nick Lopez in 3rd minus 14. A very quiet and consistent season, only 5 top 10s, but still 3rd in points. Avery Alford in 4th minus 17. Chris Jericho in 5th minus 27. William Ayers with his 4th pole on the season, by the way, here today. Most out of anyone. He still has a good realistic chance at the title. Minus 28. Felicity Mendoza in 7th minus 35. Jordan Stout in 8th minus 38. Duncan Wood in 9th minus 47. Ben Watson in 10th minus 50. And a terrible start to the first 3 races of the chase for these 2. Juan DeWine minus 77. And Alexander minus 87. And both of them started last out of the chase drivers here today. Of course, Ayers still on pole. Jericho 3rd. Logan Williams in 8th. Rose in 10th. And then Stout starts 15th, Wood 16th, Lopez in 19th, Watson 23rd, Mendoza 26th, Alpha 27th, Dwayne 28th, and row 34 with a lot of chase drivers start in the middle to the back part of the field, and that is going to make this race very, very interesting. But like I said, on the pole for the fourth time this season is William Ayers in the number 45, and Charlie Davenport trying to repeat of what LCR did last week and have his chance at a win here today. Chris Jericho in third, Juan Garcia in fourth, Matthew Burnett in fifth, Eli Bright in sixth, Roberto Quandrini in seventh, Logan Williams in eighth, and rounding out the top 10 is Brad Williams in the 28 and Caleb Rose in the number 38. And I'm going to leave it up to you. Who do you think will win possibly one of the craziest short tracks on the schedule of Richmond Raceway?
It all depends on how chaotic the race could go. I like where that 7 car is starting. 21st in points, Roberto Crone Jr. had been in contention for quite a few races earlier in the season, but hasn't had the luck he had been hoping for. Same with Matthew Burnett in 5th, and I really hope he turns it around in the last few races of the season.
Absolutely. There's been some drivers that started the season hot, like Roberto Quandrini Jr., and unfortunately he's had a lot of speed, but a lot of bad luck to pair with it. Last time the second series was at Richmond, Zachary Fitzgerald got his first win on the channel, so maybe Roberto Quandrini Jr. can do the same. Race number 20 on the season is about to go green here at Richmond Raceway, the Toyota Owners 250. Race number 20 on the season is green for the Krispy Kreme National Series. Gonna be an inside lane racetrack all weekend long for both series, and it will be William Ayers leading lap number 1, Jericho in second, Chase drivers 1-2, and how about that number 7 of Roberto Quandrini Jr. from 7th to 3rd? The outside lane on the long one, they might try it, but this is the older Richmond, and it is mostly the bottom lane here in this one, and another driver on the move, Bradley Ream outside the top 10 all the way up into the 4th spot.
Yeah, and Bradley Ream hasn't really had the success that his teammates, mainly Rose and Mendoza, had. Lead RSS driver right now, but Aaron Abel, not too far behind, was so close to winning at Watkins Glen. Obviously, haven't really seen that race yet, but he's running in 7th and is the highest of the non-chase drivers, and with where Eric Monaco is right now, he should be able to extend it, assuming he holds on to this position.
Absolutely, and we touched on the start 3 wide here now with Logan Williams, 9 of Garcia, and the 15 of Kyle Craven. That's a little bit tight off turn number 2. 3 wide is always really sketchy here, and we're going to see how this all plays out with all these chase drivers scattered throughout the field. Rose is continuing to drop. Williams almost got to the inside right there, but he's going to stay on the outside. Back to the race, the lead. Chris Jericho all over the back bumper of William Ayers. Jericho's been really hot in the second half of the season. He's going to try and do a bump and one on William Ayers in 3 and 4. Not quite going to get there. And we do got a different tire. In years past here at Richmond, there's been little to no fall off. Maybe 3/10. We got a second of fall off here for both series here this weekend, so a little bit more, and Jericho side by side for the race lead.
And this is going to be a crucial one here. Chris Jericho's around 27 points back of the top 2, so he'll need quite a bit to go his way in order to potentially win the championship come September. And not sure how far Logan Williams is. Think he's still stuck on the outside lane.
Yep.
And inside lane dominated track. You see that there with Kenneth Miller in the top 10 in the 20. How about that? One of the lowest pointed drivers, as is Charlie Davenport.
Absolutely, and this is Richmond. This is a bottom field racetrack. There's some tracks where you can have a second lane, like Chicago lane, for example, but especially here at Richmond, it is a bottom lane mentality racetrack, and right now it is so far so good, knock on wood. 10 laps in, we've seen some crazy races before at Richmond. Jericho pulling away from William Ayers in second, William in third, Burnett in fourth, Crown Jr. in fifth, Eli Bright in sixth, April. Anthony Hernandez, he's had a struggling season ever since he won at Daytona. He's in eighth. Charlie Davenport still inside the top 10. In ninth, Kenneth Miller in 10th, and here's another big one. Nick Lopez is ahead of both Caleb Rose and Logan Williams.
Yeah, and that double zero car, although he doesn't have as many top 10s as the big two, as I like to call them, he has been consistent, and that is mainly why he made the playoffs. His average finish is right up there with the best, and he does have a good... If things go his way, basically, he should be right up there towards the end.
Absolutely. There was a really long stretch in the first half of the season where he would get top 15s every race, it seemed like. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and he wanted to break through with those top 10s. He finally broke through, and then he got a win at World America, and he's just been a top 5 merchant. If he doesn't get top 10, he gets the top 15, and that's why he is just so consistent right now. And that's been a good pairing this year for that double zero team and Local Thorn and Nick Lopez, and it's paying out for him early on. Great one from the 15 machine as Mendoza moves Juan Garcia out of the way. These chase drivers out deep in the field, all of them. Logan Williams, Duncan Wood, Mendoza, Rose, Stout, Lowe, Watson, they are all being very aggressive inside the top 20. And we're starting to maybe see the title affect these drivers a little bit, but it's still all Jericho for the time being out front. It is maintaining that 8 machine. Of course, Jericho has 1 win on the season, trying to get a second here late in the season. It has 2 wins, trying to get a third, and I believe he won at North Westboro. So, trying to get another short track for that 45 team. You know, in this one.
Yeah. The less we say on how he got that North Wilkesboro win, the better. Not saying he has done bad. He has like 7th best average finish, so he has a relatively competitive season. Kenneth Miller's still inside the top 10, passing Davenport for 9th, and it looks like Logan Williams is going to settle into 15th, passing Duncan Ward. And Caleb Rose is still stuck on the bottom. He even got passed by Alexander Rowe, and where did he start? 34th?
Yeah, 34th.
Yeah. That just says how bad the outside lane is.
Absolutely, and that might kind of show how fast the 31 is, because he started all the way back in the 34th, and he's inside the top 20 now already, and he might have just gone in a bad qualifying effort, but he has a fast car here in this one. Caution free so far, all the way 20 laps in, and it's 63 laps, but if this race goes caution free, it's going to fly in a hurry. Oh no, the 42 of Benjamin Amari Jr. just had a problem on the apron. No caution, and there was a tire. I mentioned the tire, where it's about a second, and that's a double at least than what we are used to here. And top way for the 42 of Benjamin Amari Jr.
Yeah, probably not the best season for Travis's team. Hopefully he does get a better driver next year. Not gonna be saying anything, but yeah, hasn't really been that great of a season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for that 42 team. It started out really strong, but as the season's gone on, that 42 car has gone worse and worse, and I don't think it's really the owner, without saying too much, but it's been a tough season for that team, and he's just looking forward to getting the season over with. In that 42 team, Bradley Williams still in the 3rd place spot. Loving what you're seeing with Matthew Burnett, winning in the 3rd place, 4th place spot. Currently 2nd, 4th, and all the way back here with the 44 of Logan Williams, and right now he would have the point lead over Rose, but he would lose a few points on Nick Lopez, and then of course Jericho would close in a ton. Same with William Ayers, and we gotta still think about pit stops. Around lap 40, could be a little bit sooner, could be a little bit later, and with a little bit of tire, that could be a ultimate factor in this one. But speaking of tires, look at Jericho. He's pulling away on the long one to a 1.6 second lead.
Yeah, it looks like Chris Jericho might be not. I wouldn't be having that big of a gap yet if he doesn't use up his tires. But it's 1.8 seconds now. I want to say the 8 has a better car long run, but we'll see how the race goes along. Someone who definitely has a good car long run is Felicity Mendoza in the 29, now inside the top 10, looking on 9th for Kenneth Miller. Logan Williams settling to 13th right now. Caleb Rose, not sure where he is, outside the top 20, so yeah. It's gonna be a tough points day for the 38 unless something drastic happens.
Luckily for Caleb Rose, we got that pit stop. He can maybe do the undercut or overcut, have some fresher tires, but not a good day for Caleb Rose after battling inside the top 5 all day with Logan Williams. Logan Williams is on the inside lane, just trying to salvage something inside the top 15. And you mentioned Mendoza. Mendoza still has a relatively decent drive the championship, and he's a good one here today. And right now he's having it 35 points out inside the top 10. Very solid one for this 2019. And I'm just surprised with some of these ones that we are seeing here at Richmond. Like we've said all day, Hernandez, Davenport, Kenneth Miller, all having good ones. And the 98 might have a decent long one car of Angel Corderos inside the top 15 now. And it was almost 2 second lead for Chris Jericho, but now starting to get caught a little bit. And we gotta see what ends up happening if the undercut with the overcut will play out. But it's been all Chris Jericho here in this one. Crown Jr. might have a better long one car. He's starting to close back in on Burnett and Bradley Ream. But a dominant first half for that 8 machine at GM Motorsports.
Yeah, GM Motorsports up there in the constructor standings, mainly due to their drivers. The less I say about their rain situation, the better. But now the gap's back up to 2 seconds. It's hard to say really if Ayers is conserving or if Jericho is trying to push that bit more. But the pit cycle is going to start in about 10 laps or so. So the strategy might be coming up soon.
And that's going to be a big wild card. Don't really know what these teams will do with the 1 second of fall off. If the undercut or the overcut will be good. In which way they will cycle. And of course, seen it before here at Richmond. Gotta watch out for the merge point at seeing the back switch and entering pit road. That could be a trouble spot. Williams looks like he has a little bit of a longer one car. Almost inside of the top 10. Duncan Wood is on the move in the number 5 as well. Stout is still moving up. Kyle Craven, Allison on the wall. And Caleb Rose is still outside of the top 20, still in 21st. Watson, not a good chase for that 48 team. Still deep in the field. Great one from Giacomo for all things considered inside the top 24. Carlos Miller's back here. Giovanni is struggling today. Alfred is struggling. And then some of these drivers really are struggling here that have struggled most of the season. And we might catch up with lap traffic maybe before pit stops, but definitely after. If this thing stays green, lap traffic is going to be a big time problem.
And that's if the thing stays caution free. 2.5 second gap now between the 8 and the 45. So what I've been saying might be true here. Jericho might be trying to push that bit more ounce into the 8 car. knowing where Logan Williams and Caleb Rose are in comparison, but I'm not sure how much gaps there are going to be between himself and the 45. Now it's 2.7 seconds. Third through fifth is closing up on each other. And yeah.
This is a butt whooping from Joe going out, and it's really, especially late in this one. It was about 2 seconds for most of it, but the 8 car has the long one car, and he might catch up to that traffic before pit stops. And that's going to be very interesting on what ends up happening here with Beal and Howie Anderson Jr. in the number 92. Not a good scene for either one of these two drivers. And this is going to be something that we will see most likely in the Cup race tomorrow night. Prime time is lap traffic as well, with it being a short track. And looks like Jericho's going to get a little bit held up behind Beal. And has to be careful to not turn him and cause a caution, because that would erase his lead and have a late race restart. He lost 2, maybe 3 tenths last lap because of bringing up Beal. Looks like no one is pitting yet, but should be momentarily here in the Toyota Owners 250. And we gotta see if who will do the undercut first.
If I had to say who could do the undercut first, probably around the top 10 bit, Williams, Nick Lopez, maybe Felicity Mendoza, who, by the way, started in 27th position, gained 20 spots overall. They might be some guys who I could see doing the undercut, and maybe Jericho. Oh, Ayer's now starting the pit cycle in the 45. That's gonna be a bit of a risky move if a caution does come out.
Absolutely. The first one out, the first one on pit road, Jericho stayed out. And that is a smart call if this stays green. Jericho's now in the number 8 machine. And so is Logan Williams in the 44. It was around lap 40, I thought, and it ended up being a couple laps later. And this is a late race pit stops here. Let's see, what does the 8 machine do? I think it's going to be 4 tires, I should say. Boom is. There's a long stop on pit road. 2 tires and 4 tires. So yeah, it's going to be 4 tires. And now, a lot of drivers are on pit road on that 44, coming to that 45. That is the 28. And I think we are under caution, and we are.
Wow. What did I say?
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Bright Mendoza.
Eli Bright destroyed. And Felicity Mendoza.
Oh, watch out. We were just talking about Mendoza from 27th to 7th before pit stops.
Well, and that's going to potentially work in favor of guys like Burnett, Crown, maybe Aaron Abel. Especially Nick Lopez, who's third in the standings.
This is going to really shake things up. And it looks like it was the merge point that I was talking about. And that is going to shake everything up. Everyone else is going to go down onto pit road. So I'm not entirely sure on who the race lead is going to be. But tough play for Eli Bright and Mendoza. Let's see. The trail goes a lap down. Duncan was a lap down. Gutierrez is a lap down. I don't really know who is going to be the race leader. It might be Abel. Maybe. We just gotta wait and see.
But Lopez. Lopez might be the first one off.
It might be Lopez, actually. Yeah, I don't see the double zero yet. And yeah, there is Net Lopez. It might be Net Lopez. And Kenneth Miller might be up here as well.
Kenneth Miller. Jordan Stout's probably gonna be third.
A little bit messy, but I think we are right on that. Gonna see here this time by once everything cycles through. And I believe it is going to be Burnett, actually, as the race leader. But, yeah,
Wait, did...
Hmm.
Okay.
Nick Lopez is going to be in 4th. We're going to go ahead and see what happened for the caution. We're going to wave a bunch of people around here. And let's see what brought out our first caution here late in the going in the Toyota Owners 250 at Richmond Raceway. Well, here we go. This is what happened about the first caution of the day here. And this is going to shake everything up here. And unfortunately, I think this is all on Ramirez. And he could have avoided this. He could have just lifted, stuck behind the 92 of Howard Anderson Jr., but decided to send it in on the 92. And up the track goes the 45 and the 92, up the racetrack into the wall. And that was it for the initial caution. That did bring out yellow, but then all these drivers that were racing back had to try and avoid these two, and the way that the rear pit line is here at Richmond, it's kind of weird. The 43 and the 7, they decide to go down pit road to avoid it. And then Eli Bright, he goes much lower. He avoids everything. However, the pit road is closed. And he's like, oh. And he decides to hit the pit wall. Judges it and then back up into the racetrack just enough for Mendoza to absolutely slam the number 1 machine, and that is a tough break for Mendoza. 7th in the point standings, and looked like it was going to have a fairly good shot at the championship still, from 27th to 7th before pit stops, and that's going to take a massive hit in the tire hopes from Mendoza here. Let's go and take a full speed replay and get back to the restart here at Richmond Raceway.
The only thing I really have to say here is miscommunication on the 45 pit box. Ran right into the back of Haley Anderson. And the pit road closes right there. And yeah, Eli Bright came in way too quick. And yeah, just unfortunate break there for Felicity Mendoza. Made up over 20 spots, all for nothing in the end.
All for nothing, and unfortunately, depending on how the points look like, it might take that 2019 out of the running for this championship. Because I made a great one going, but that's Richmond. Everything can change on a dime here, especially at this one, and we're going to see what ends up happening. It will be the number 43 of Matthew Burnett. Once everything cycles out, as the race leader, we will wave everyone around, sort everything out, and we will have about a 11 lap shootout to the finish here in this one. Let's go ahead and see who ends up winning the Toyota Owners 250 for race 20 on the season. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway, and things have been flipped upside down here at Richmond Raceway. Everyone that was up front, for the most part, are now in the back, and everyone that was in the back is up front. Burnett, though, was top 5, and now he's in the race lead. Juan Jr. was top 5, he's in 2nd. Hernandez in 3rd, Ned Lopez in 4th. Kenneth Miller, a standout day for that 20 machine inside the top 5. Duane started all the way in the back in 6th. Stout, Carson Miller, Philip Toys, and Zayn Davison inside the top 10 with 11 laps to go. Here in this one, the 29 of Mendoza and the 1 of Eli Bright are out, and we are back green with 11 laps to go in the Toyota 250.
A jump there from the 43 of Burnett, and Nick Lopez wasting no time getting past the 16 of Hernandez up to the 3rd position. You might want to watch out for this 00 late in the going.
Absolutely. Nick Lopez was very fast, and he looked very consistent in that one before the caution came out. And this could be exactly what helps Nick Lopez get into championship contention. But how about Juan Duane out of nowhere inside the top 5? And he's still deep in the field here today. Gonna try and get to the inside of Nick Lopez, not quite get there. And you know what? Juan Jr. still has a shot against first career win finally. Last time a secondary series was here at Richmond, I said it once, I'll say it again. Zachary Fitzgerald won in the Power Truck Series a year ago. Crown Jr. trying to get his first win on the channel, but he has to beat Burnett. He's had a struggling season, but he's trying to get the win and hang on to it. Meanwhile, Stout is on the move in the number 11 machine. Jericho, he is starting to make some moves inside the top 15. Still has a fast car. I don't think he has enough time to get a win, but what a restart here at Richmond.
Yeah, when you said the thing was twisted upside down, Nick Lopez, if all goes well, Nick Lopez might end up being the points leader and ending this race. And good redemption runs for Durrani and Stout in particular. Not really the best of starts for Durrani. Not sure where Jordan Stout is in points. He's around 8th. These are going to be big points days if they hold.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, we did wave a lot of people around, but Logan Williams is still 2 laps down with the undercut and getting trapped multiple laps down, so not going to be a good day for the 34, for the 44. Cables is in 25th, so it's going to shake everything up. We got 5 laps to go. Crown Jr. closing in on Burnett. He's had a fairly up and down season. A lot of potential, though, in this 43 team. But he's been the only Alpha Prime car to not win this season. But Roberto Crown Jr. is flying here late, and he might have a shot with 4 laps to go.
And don't count out 00 or the 19. Ryan Durrani just barely made it into the playoffs with Joe Gibbs Racing. A very aggressive move, trying to get by Nick Lopez. And may I remind, this is only the second top 5 of the season for Hernandez if it stands, the Daytona winner. And right behind him, Carson Miller, who won at Talladega. Those are very solid results there for those two.
Absolutely, and this is what has been happening as of late. Dover happened, Monster happened, Hans Glenn was normal, but I just cannot believe what we've seen. Jericho is going to be top 12 again here, but it's going to be the white flag, the power one to go here in this one for Matthew Burnett in the number 43 machine. Plunging in the second place spot, trying to close in. He smells his first win if he can get a good one through 1 and 2. He gets a decent one. He's going to have to send it in 3 and 4. But he's not going to get there. He's going to try. But Matthew Burnett, top 5 all day. Same with Crown Jr. Burnett wins at Richmond Raceway.
Finally.
And I believe you can say that you're the only team owner to get all 3 cars a race win, I think. Wow, Burnett has had a up and down season. He's had a lot of bad luck early on, but he could have gotten this win early on in the season. Top 5 all day for both Burnett and for Bo Crown Jr. Great one from Nick Lopez, Hernandez, Durrani, 11 points. Gonna help him a little bit. Welcome to Richmond. It was chaotic. I thought it was gonna stay caution free, but it did not. And we had a crazy restart at the end, and Burnett hangs on to get the race win. So close for Bo Crown Jr. there. I thought he was gonna have it for the race win. Durrani second, Durrani third. Nick Lopez, Hernandez, first top 5 like you said since Daytona. For Anthony Hernandez, Carson Miller, Jordan Stout, Kenneth Miller. Chris Jericho still gets a top 10. Duncan Wood out of nowhere gets a top 10. Angel Gutierrez, Aaron Abel, Philip Torres, Calvin Perry, Zayden Davidson, Eric Monaco, Bronson Minnick, Juan Kendall, Juan Garcia, and Benny Watson in the top 20. So many of the non-chase drivers finished up front. Whoa in 21st, Ayers 24th, Rose 26th, Alpha 27th. Oh my goodness. And then, of course, unfortunately, Mendoza, that crash is going to take a hit in the points. And then Logan Williams, the big undercut, is got multiple laps down and finishes in the 33rd position. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to say. That's Richmond for you, but we still got the couple of small, right? 100 laps over there, but what a race, and what's the final thoughts here at Richmond for the Krispy Kreme National Series?
What? Just one thing. What could have been for Chris Jericho?
Mm-hmm.
He had by far the best car in the first run. Had that caution not come out, he probably would have gotten the race win, honestly.
He probably would have
very chaotic end to the race.
Absolutely, and he touched on it. He probably could have won. He still got a top 10, so that's gonna help for that 18. But what could have been for second round of the season? What could have been for William Ayers, maybe? What could have been for Logan Williams, especially? I feel that's been his season here in the series. He either has a really good one, or he has bad luck, and he was gonna take the point lead away from Caleb Williams, but now he's not, and it might even be Nick Lopez. Nick Lopez might be the new point leader. So, it's crazy to say that, but I think that's going to be the case here in this one, and this well race here at Richmond. We will take a all-fleet, split the chase in half, 4 races in, 4 races to go, while the Cup Series are at Daytona next week. But in 2 races time, or 2 weeks time I should say, we will be at Gateway for the first time ever in the Krispy Kreme National Series for race number 21 on the season. Thanks for Matthew Hubert for joining me up here in the booth. Congratulations to Matthew Barnett on getting his first win on the season in chaotic fashion. But at the end of the day, a top 5 car that was inside the top 5 most of the day still got the race win. So until tomorrow night, prime time edition for the JBL Cup Series here at Richmond for the $1 tweet wanted. We will see you guys then.